Hello, and in this video I'm going to look at West Ham's run-in for the rest of the season. We've got 8 games left and I will try to predict how many points we can realistically get, and then talk about what happens if we go down, who stays and who leaves. Because even if we survive, the situation is not really comfortable. So, 30 games played and 8 games left. Next game is going to be Aston Villa away. Let's go through them quickly. Aston Villa away. I predict loss. Villa away is one of the toughest fixtures left. They're strong at home, very structured, and I just don't see us getting anything there. Wolves home. Win. This is the kind of game we have to win. At home, against a team we can match. If we don't take the 3 points here, it's gonna be a big problem. Crystal Palace away. Draw. Palace away is tricky, they're unpredictable, physical and hard to break down. I think we can get a point, but no more. However, the situation with their head coach gives us some chances to get maybe a win. Although I think it's gonna be very hard, especially in an away game. Everton home. Draw. This feels like a very tense and low quality game, two teams fighting for survival, and we also know how Everton plays really physical, and only the Iliman Ndiaye is going to get some points. Maybe he will get some goal or assist. Could easily be a 0-0 or 1-1. Maybe we can get a win, 2-1, and so on. Brentford away. Win. Brentford are dangerous but inconsistent. If we are serious about staying up, this is a game where we can take advantage, if we remember how we won in the FA Cup against them. Arsenal home. Loss. Realistically, this is one of the hard games because Arsenal are far ahead of us. They are first in the league and we are in relegation battle. So Arsenal are just on another level, even at our home. Newcastle away loss. Newcastle away is brutal, intensity, crowd, pressure, and very difficult to get anything there. So I think it's gonna be a total loss. Leeds home win. Last home game, so this could be decisive, and I think we can realistically get all our strengths together and step up and win. Point summary: 11 points from 8 games, 29 plus 11, 40 points total for this season. And 40 points is the minimum. If teams like Spurs or Forest pick up form, even that might not be enough. Personally, I still believe we stay up. However, we have to talk about relegation as a real possibility. Now let's get into the players. Who stays, who leaves, and why? 100% stays. Aldis Karls, Thomas Soucek, Adama Traore, Walker Peters. These are either loyal players or players with limited market value, as in the case of Soucek, Traore, or Walker Peters. And in Skarl's case, young talented player that the club developed for years, and the coaches were giving him a lot of time. So I think he will 100% stay and become the core of our team in the championship. Probably stays Jarrod Bowen, Callum Marshall, George Earthy, Christian Higgy, Kalen Casey, Max Kilman, Mavropanos, Freddie Potts. This group is a mix of aging players, young prospects, and players without huge transfer demand. Bowen, our captain, is the interesting one. He might stay out of loyalty, but he also can leave. But I don't think he will, because he is aging. By his attitude towards the club, I think he will stay. Even though there are opportunities for clubs like Newcastle, maybe even Arsenal to get him. Maybe not as a starter, but a reliable substitute player. The young players stay because they will finally get the real minutes and the club builds around them. There is a chance. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Axel Disasi, Fabianski, Mohamedou Kante, Magasa, Ezra Myers, Lewis Orford, Pablo, Tati, Callum Wilson. This is the uncertain group. Either they are too good for this championship or not good enough to attract big offers. For example, DCC probably leaves because he's on loan and has no attachment to the club. Also, I think he would succeed if he stays in the club. Fabianski might stay as a mentor or even move into coaching in a few years because he is really old, but he has the experience to teach our new keepers, maybe the starter players. Young players could stay just to develop because in the championship they can get the minutes they lack. Also in the championship they can show how good they are and can become a really solid players. And maybe if we get the promotion, they can move into different teams and become the starter players there. Will leave for sure. Alfonso Areola, Haji Malik Diouf, Hermansen, Crescencio Somerville, Mateus Fernandes, and Todibo. These are the players with market value, interest from other clubs, or clear ambition to play at a higher level. Somerville and Fernandes especially, they're just simply too good to stay. They were the stars of our team in this season. Areola also likely leaves because he has the good quality. Also, he is in his prime age, and I just think he plays really good for our club and maybe goes to the French league or somewhere else. And also he has high wages, as it was rumored. I think he will not agree to the wage cuts in the championship. Should leave 100%. These players are the ones that should leave either if we get relegated or not. Edson Alvarez, Nicolas Füllkrug, James Ward-Prowse, La Madrid, Maxwell Cornet. This is more about the club making decisions. Either they don't fit, like in the case of Maxwell Cornet, La Madrid, or Edson Alvarez, or they're unreliable, like in the case of Alvarez, who booked so many times and just is not simply good enough for the Premier League, or it's just time to move on in the case of Maxwell Cornet, because we all know how much season he was on the bench and didn't really play and was absolute piece of shit for us. Alvarez's situation is clear. Ward-Prowse, if the manager doesn't trust him, it's over. And I think Nuno Espirito Santos doesn't really trust in him. And also, if we will relegate, I think we will have something like this as our starter tactic. In the goal is gonna be Fabianski, because I don't think that Christian Hegi is ready enough for the championship yet. I think he will be the substitute player or the one who will get the minutes rarely. On the right side, it's gonna be Walker Peters or Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'm not sure about where Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because I think he will move to another club. I think two center backs are going to be Kilman and Mavrapans as our starters, because they are very reliable. I'm not really sure about Kilman, but Mavrapans is really reliable and proved himself in the last, 5 to 8 games. And I'm not really sure about Kilman because he is really inconsistent, but I think in the championship he can be one of the best center backs in the league. On the left side is gonna be Olis Karls, because he proved himself, and the Haji Malik Diouf is going to go into another big club and surely will not be with us in the championship. On the right side, I think our right midfielder is gonna stay Bowen, if he will not move to the other side. Our two midfielders are going to be either Soucek and Potts, or I think Kante and maybe Lewis Orford. And there are a lot of, maybe the Magassa, yeah. There are a lot of players, and I think the central midfield doesn't really need any new players. And on the left side, I think it's gonna be Traore, because we don't really have much players. I think Callum Marshall also can play on that side, but I'm not really sure about that. I think it's the position that surely needs some new player that can grow into a top player, maybe when we will get promoted. And I think the Pablo and the Tatia are going to be our main strikers. I think they are not going to go into another club. I think they understood what they're getting into when they signed for us in the January. So I hope they will stay. Although we have a lot of good players in the face of George Earthy or the Callum Marshall, as I said, they can become our first homegrown starter players in the championship. So overall, I think we just can survive with our 40 points, and if our team is gonna be better, we can survive the teams like Spurs or Forests. And if we survive, the big chances are coming, especially with our good coach in the face of Nuno Espirito Santos, who proved that he is a top-tier coach and can probably make us a better team. And since he came, we were absolutely very good team and stepped up level ahead of us. And if we go down, the squad will not stay the same. There will be a lot of sells, and the young players can get the chances to become a better players and maybe a solid starters for our team. So let me know, what do you think? Do we stay up, and which players would you keep or sell? Thank you for everything. Goodbye.